On Wednesday, you sent a letter to the president warning that the 5 Taliban who were released from Gitmo as a prisoner exchange for Abu Bergdahl last summer are due to be released from confinement in Qatar. Are you concerned about that?
Yeah, so what we explained to the president was on June 1st, so we're less than 2 weeks away from guys who we know, and what I said in the letter is we know they are in communications with bad guys, just like they were doing before when they were picked up on the battlefield and brought to Guantanamo in the first place. So many of us believe they never should have been released. And we just sent a letter to the president to make sure that you work with the Qataris. We don't want these 5 guys going back to the battlefield, engineering plans to kill American and NATO and our NATO allies.
Well, what do you know about them?
We know that they've been back once they got to Qatar, that they have been in constant communication with some of their old pals.
What about this whole issue of Guantanamo? Do you think it ought to be closed down?
No, I've long been on the record saying that we need to leave Guantanamo open. I think one of the tragedies is that we've been relying more on drone strikes, which is a very effective tool, don't get me wrong, and we need to have it in our arsenal. But when you go out and you vaporize our opponents, it makes it, and you're not willing to bring them to places like Guantanamo and get actionable intelligence from them, it makes it harder to understand the enemy, thus harder to defeat the enemy.
The big thing in Congress right now, the trade agreement that's pending, where do you come down on that?
Look, I believe it is imperative for us, for our national security interests, to quickly pass trade promotion authority, because you can then move on to the Trans-Pacific Partnership and an agreement with our European allies. If you can bring those trade agreements together, you will have 2/3 of the world's economy under the same trade agreement, which allows for fair and free trade, unlike what we have now.
All right, Mr. Chairman, it's certainly nice to have you. We hope you'll come back many times, and
Thank you.
We'll be right back.